Well, it is 4 o'clock, so we can get started. Today is January 31st, 2019. And John, if you want to do a roll call?
Thank you, Madam Chair. We currently have 6 members sitting on the Design Review Board. We have 1 member that was appointed just Monday of this week. Her name is Haley Hauser, and she's an insurance agent, and she'll be joining us on our next regular meeting. So the remaining 6 are here today.
Good. Thank you. Has everybody had a chance to look over the minutes? Can we collectively approve those, or do we need to approve them one by one?
You can collectively do that.
Okay. Well, I would entertain a motion to collectively approve those.
I move we approve the minutes from August 23rd, 2018, September 13th of 2018, and January 10th of 2019.
Okay, I have a motion and a second. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
All those opposed with the same sign? Okay, those are approved. New business. Let's go ahead and go right into 3.1. John?
This item is a review of requests from Sheldon Architecture on behalf of the JOMA company to amend a site development plan approved by the Design Review Board on December 14th, 2017. And this is for the alley located at 115 East Ash Street, now under construction. And this proposal is to delete a proposed 20-foot paved alleyway located at the rear of the principal building from their plans. This shows the alleyway in question here. And we'll come back to the slide, but the alley itself occupies the northeast corner of Ash and Santa Fe. This shows before construction. It encapsulates these lots here on both sides of the alleyway and occupy much of the remainder of that block. Originally, the Sheldon Architecture and Blue Beacon met with the Design Review Board on August 22nd, 2017, and at that time, a proposed alley entertainment structure was examined. It had a 20-lane bowling alley, a 8-lane boutique bowling alley area, games and attractions, and an indoor dining area. At that time, there was a parking area located to the north of the building. The parking area was deleted from the project, but the fire department had expressed interest in retaining a 20-foot alley, public alley that ran from Santa Fe down to 5th Street, roughly bisecting that block. The remainder of the property there would have been undeveloped, and they were not going to do any parking in the rear. This is what the Design Review Board approved at their December 14th, 2017 meeting. But the property owner now wants to remove the east-west access road from the project. Since this is a significant change to the site development plan, we wanted to bring that back for you for a review. City met with the project architect and informed them the modification would probably require the Design Review Board review, and a site plan requesting the site modification was submitted in this case. Under the new proposal, the alley to the north side of the structure itself would terminate. These 2 curb cuts are being constructed at this point, mainly to serve this area back behind the structure in case that is developed in the future. But the remainder of the alley between the sidewalk and this portion of the trash enclosure area is going to be taken out, and this area is going to be seeded grass on both sides, as well as over here. And bollards to protect the area from unauthorized parking would be put up on the sidewalk area from Santa Fe, also on the termination of that driveway from the east. The remainder of the building is going to have a landscape plan, and this particular area is going to be seeded to grass and maintained until there is a development in the future. There is a parking requirement for the commercial properties in the C4 zoning district. It's anticipated the parking areas would serve this particular facility. There are public parking areas both to the west and southwest There are some private parking lots for the Sunflower Bank, the post office on 5th Street, and those would be available for after-hours parking, where the entertainment centers sometimes rely on those. There's additional parking also south of Ash in the Sunflower lot, and the new lot that's across from the field house. We are looking at the following design criteria. As we stated, the fire department can access the 204-foot wide building from either Santa Fe or 5th Street. They require only 150 feet of reach, and that lot itself is 250 east to west, and the building occupies the area towards the western portion of the site. For delivery truck access, the alley is going to use a service door that comes out of the east side of the building and goes directly to 5th Street. The driveway extension from 5th Street will be constructed to pick up trash and service mechanical, and the outlet to the remaining portion on north and south public alleyway, which would be this area here. There is a existing alleyway that comes down from the site, and it comes down to this point where it's going to be terminated. That currently is a blind alley at this point because of construction, but we probably want to see some barriers placed there either by the city or potentially the applicant to prevent people from parking in the new H.D. Lee parking lot that's going to be going in here, as well as city parking company. So to avoid having a blind alley there, that probably would have a barrier, depending on how city plumbing accesses their site. As far as future access to the off-street parking area, there are parking curves being constructed to accommodate a future lot. And under aesthetics and streetscape, the proposed site plan indicates a set of 3-foot tall parking bollards, and those will be installed at the curb cuts. And the design itself would be consistent with the design guidelines for bollards. The open area would be established as a grassy area and maintained until future development. The one design criteria we've provided for you under landscaping states that the landscape in downtown should be used to enhance the area, and it would appear that the restoration of the area north of the alley as an open grass area would not conflict with this aesthetic character of the downtown or the streetscape project itself if the land is well maintained, and the grassy area and the planned landscaping to the east and west, to the east and south of the alley building will also tie in with the grassy area proposed for north of the building. And we do have provided you with some findings for the application. We feel that the proposed restoration of the site and seeding of grass will enhance the overall project area. The project area will be protected with parking bollards from east and west to prevent unauthorized vehicles using that area. And the driveway curb cuts on North 5th Street and Santa Fe will allow off-street parking to be developed in the future at this area. We have provided options to approve the amended certificate of compatibility as presented. You have the option to approve that with staff suggested findings and any conditions identified by a majority of the board members. You could postpone consideration of the application in order to acquire additional information on this proposal. In the case where now there is an appeal process, staff is recommending the three options: that if development of the site substantially conforms with the site plan, if not, if there are any significant changes to the project, these would be brought back to the development services staff and potentially to you. A site planning plan would be provided to identify the turf grass and how it's going to be maintained on the north of the building, and that the grassy area to the north would be maintained in a living condition, and any subsequent damage to the area will be repaired back to its normal natural state. So at this point, staff would entertain any questions the board may have. The applicant is also here today.
Thank you, John. Do we have any questions for staff? I guess really the only question that I have is under the design criteria. So the purpose for the 20-foot east-west alleyway was originally intended to provide the following functions, and there's 6 listed, but the first one listed was fire department access. Are we losing that access? There's the building losing that access?
Well, there are code requirements on how far you can run a line from a pumper to access a site. In this case, the length of that from either Santa Fe or Fifth Street would be 150 feet. The building itself is 204 feet and is shifted over to the Santa Fe side of that. So the 150 feet would still reach that portion of the north wall from Santa Fe, as well as that portion of the area from Fifth Street would also access it, and they would overlap somewhat in that area. So if you're looking at accessing it from either side, the full area at the north wall would be covered.
So they would be losing their ability to drive through that area, but what they have since reported to us is that it's not required that that be there. And the way that this evolved is that it started out with a driveway only on Fifth Street and a parking lot, and the fire department felt they could turn around in the parking lot and come back out on Fifth Street. Then when the parking lot was eliminated, they didn't have any place to turn around, so they asked for the connection to Santa Fe, thinking that that's what was intended. But if the desire of the applicant is not to construct it at all, then the fire department has reported that they can reach all sides and points of the building with their hoses without that road being there.
Okay, so they've essentially signed off on this?
Yes.
Okay.
They have indicated that because they have to be able to run a hose 150 feet, and since the building's 204 feet wide, they can come either at it from Santa Fe or Fifth Street and reach all points of the building. So from their perspective, it's nice to have, but not required,
Okay,
not essential.
okay. Just my concern is, you know, although we'd hate to have a fire, but having had a building downtown that had a fire, want to make sure that's covered. Are there any other questions for staff? No? Okay. Did you guys want to add anything at all? Did you have anything that you wanted to add?
We just wanted to say, and the whole building is sprinklered as well.
Okay.
You know, and,
Yeah, in the fire code, actually, there's provision on it.
Well, if you guys, if you don't mind
Yeah,
just
just come up
stepping up,
here.
please. We're being
Thank you.
recorded, so it just helps so everybody who's out there
Okay.
listening can hear you.
Is this on?
Then have state your name and who you represent.
I am Randy Crook, and I represent Sheldon Architecture. And I just wanted to also point out that the building is sprinklered, and in the code book, there's a provision not only for the 150-foot access. If it's sprinklered, the fire department can actually increase that length as well. So we don't think there's any issue at all there.
Okay. Was there anything else that you wanted to add to the presentation? Okay. Well, with all of that information, I would entertain a motion.
I move that we approve the application per staff's recommendation of option 2 with the recommendations that if there are any other significant changes that occur to the project as approved, that it be brought back before the design review board again, as well as a planting plan shall be submitted for the area that's now becoming the landscaping area to the north of the building, as well as that grassy area should be maintained in a living condition and that any damage to the area will be repaired to its original condition.
Okay, I have a motion for option 2 with staff recommendations on the paper of 1, 2, and 3, which Maggie just stated. Do I have a second?
I second it.
Okay, I have a motion and a second. All in favor, say aye. Aye. All opposed with the same sign? Okay. We have it passed with no nays. Okay, do we have any unfinished or other business?
Staff at this point does not have any pending applications that we're aware of, so we're planning on our second Thursday in February as if that is going to be used, you'll receive something either tomorrow or first thing Monday, but at this point, we don't have anything physically in our department.
Okay, thank you, John. And then do we have anybody from the public? It doesn't really look like it. Then I would entertain a motion to adjourn.
I move that we adjourn the January 31st meeting.
I have a motion.
Second.
I have a second. All in favor? Aye. All opposed? We are adjourned.